Hi, I'm Robbin Miller. I'm host of Miller Chat. This is my guest, Charles Smith, author and veteran of the Armed Forces. Welcome to my show.
Hello, and thank you for having me, Robin.
And thank you for serving.
Thank you.
First show of 2020. I will be on 21 years in May of this year. I still can't believe I'm going, but hey, if there's topics to be discussed, why not?
That's awesome.
There's always something going on now. So, welcome to my show.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, first show of 2020. So, why don't we talk a little bit about yourself? What brings you here today?
Well, my name is Charles Smith. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, like you said, and I'm also an author. I have 4 books published on self-help. One is situational awareness and protection of yourself. And another one is addiction recovery. It's a workbook that I just had published last year. Another one is a positive thinking book. That's a workbook. That's actually my cheapest book. It's only $6.99. And I have my other book that it's called Operation TIP. It's a trauma-informed program. And I ran that for Veterans Inc. I ran it for Jeremiah Zane in Worcester and for a couple of other places.
When I was talking to you before the show, you were talking about you did a program for vets coming home. Can you talk a little bit about that program, what you've done with that?
I ran the trauma-informed program to teach veterans that were just coming home from Iraq or wherever they were stationed overseas, and teaching them about post-traumatic stress so they know what to look for in themselves if they're having symptoms of post-traumatic stress, like anger issues or stressed out in general.
Flashbacks?
Flashbacks, yes, yep. Sleep nightmares, night terrors.
Right.
That sort of thing. Yeah.
So you developed the program, and how long did that go for?
It went for a couple of years.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like a weekly program, or was it a one-shot deal?
Well, I went there once a week to Veterans Inc. and I ran it. Yeah.
Wow. And were you able to determine if it was helpful or not? Did they feel less stressed
It was
after
very, very helpful. I actually, and I put this into the book, I had them do an evaluation of themselves before and after, and it was phenomenal, the changes that, the information gave them.
Are they still doing it now?
I'm going to be doing it again. I am meeting with Veterans Inc. on the 23rd, and I'm going to be going back in there and running that program again for them. Yep.
Now, did you go into the Armed Forces after you turned 18?
I went in when I was 20.
When you were 20?
Yeah, I actually had my 21st birthday in basic training.
Okay, and then you served your time. Did you write while you were out there? I mean, you're an author, so did you inspire to become an author by being on the battlefield? Were you on the battlefield?
I was not.
Okay, but you served in other areas.
Yeah, I suffered through some stuff. Like I was actually in a tank that exploded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I get chills whenever I think about that.
Even I'm getting chills. Wow.
And I served 6 months overseas in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, guarding Cubans and Haitians in camps. They were trying to get over to the U.S. That was back in like '95.
Okay.
And we couldn't let them all just come into the U.S., so we had to more or less transition them in or transition them to wherever we could let them go.
Were you an author then, or did you become an author when you came back?
I became an author when I came back.
Okay.
I wrote a lot of poetry and stuff like that.
When you were serving? Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I've yet to put that into a book. One day I will.
Is it about what you were doing, or just writing poetry in general?
Poetry in general. Yeah, it could be about my life, the military, anything that was on my mind at the time.
Right, and when did you publish your first book? I mean, you said you wrote a couple of books, so when did you write your first book?
My first book got published 2 2.5 years ago.
Okay, and what was that? Was that the tip? Or
That
was
was TIP.
That was TIP,
Operation
okay.
TIP. Yeah, I had developed Operation TIP, Operation Enlighten, the self-protection one, and Operation Happy Mind, the positive thinking one.
I saw that, yeah.
All in one time, pretty
Okay,
much, to
okay.
run as programs.
Okay.
And when I was all done running those programs at the time, I decided if I want to continue to give the people the information,
Mm-hmm.
I would transfer those into books
Hmm.
and put them on Amazon.com, and people can buy them if they want.
So was that, what other books did you write afterward?
I just wrote my first, I call it my first official book,
Okay.
because I wrote it as a book last year. It's called Operation Battle of a Lifetime.
Okay.
And it's a workbook to help you with addiction recovery.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said you've done some addiction work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So you've done a lot
Yeah.
in your life.
And I've been in recovery since 1993
Okay.
when I got that on my book.
Were you in recovery after you came back, or did it start after you came back with addiction?
My my detox was basic training in the Army.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I don't recommend to anybody.
Well, you know from experience, you're the expert.
Hmm.
So, okay. So you've been through a lot, and you wrote your books.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now we're here to talk about Operation Safety in Motion.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
That's a new book that I'm coming out with.
Mm-hmm.
It's situational awareness and anti-bullying, and it's my first children's book.
It's a children's book.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a children's book to teach children situational awareness and how to protect yourself from bullying.
Oh, okay.
And in the book, I'm actually going to have a robot as the main character instead of a child, because a lot of people, they see a boy child in the book, they
Right.
think only boys get bullied. They see a
Mhm.
girl in the book, they think only girls get bullied.
Mm.
But it happens to anybody, no matter what age. And this robot is neither male or female, it's a robot. And
Okay, nonconformity.
yeah. And it, I portray him as younger, but honestly, bullying happens at any age.
Well, I think they're saying
So-
it happens now. It can happen in daycare,
Oh, yeah.
preschool, up
Yeah.
to 3, 4, but they just don't know what they're doing.
Mm.
I think the issue is, and I've had this run in, it's that people don't understand by the time kids go to preschool, daycare, on the park, 3 or 4, they know differences.
Yeah.
But if you're of the majority culture, in this sense, Caucasian, you don't see it.
Mm.
My son saw that. My son's biracial, and he was
Yeah.
in daycare at 3, 4, and he noticed his skin color, that he's moderately olive skin.
Mm.
Or people who are Indian descent or Chinese.
Yeah.
But the problem that I find is that the majority culture in the United States, they don't see that.
Mm.
And I think it's good that you develop these programs to increase awareness, because
Yeah.
sometimes it just starts with differences.
Yeah.
People are ignorant and don't understand that. So the robot, that's a very interesting. What would the robot look like? You have an idea of?
I wish I had my phone on me. I'm actually having my brother develop all the illustrations.
Mhm.
He's an incredible artist.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he, it's just, not even sure how to explain him. He's a robot with a square head and
A typical square head, a bot.
yeah,
like
a
a
bot, more or less a bot.
Okay,
yeah.
so is he like 4 feet tall?
He's about 4 feet tall.
Okay, and
He's
arms?
got arms. He's got more or less of a square body.
Okay.
I didn't want him to be like any, I want as little that people can point out about him as possible.
Oh,
So
he'll be different.
he's any culture.
Of any culture.
He's
okay.
any male or female. He can be anybody.
So is he going to be like a gray robot?
Bluish.
Bluish robot.
Yeah.
That's a very popular color.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's going to be about 4 feet high, and
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like a bluish type of robot.
Yeah.
Okay.
With like a square head and
square head.
little round, medium round eyes.
Okay.
And he's got a antenna pointing out over
Antenna.
his head. And, yeah.
And any particular clothing?
No.
No, so it's going to be like a bluish robot talking
Yeah.
about anti-bullying.
Yeah.
Be about how old?
Probably middle, like elementary school, maybe.
5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
And is it going to talk robotic?
It's
Monotone?
probably going to. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's going to be your main character in the book.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to talk about how it came to be, or is he just going to appear?
He's going through it starts out that he's nervous about a person that's bullying him in
school. Okay, so it's a
Yeah.
robot in school. And
Yes.
are the other people robots, or are they people?
They're all robots.
Really?
It's a robotic world.
That
he's,
is
that he's
awesome.
living in, yeah.
I haven't seen anything like that.
No, so far it's the first of its kind that I know of.
Okay, so he's getting bullied by the robots.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And I show him going to his friends and talking about it, and looking confident when he's talking to the
Right.
robot that's trying to bully him,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to change the conversation, because if you're being bullied and you're just like slouching down and please don't hurt me, then that's when the bully is gonna be more apt to bully you.
It's your presence.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
your
it's
presence.
like a puppy, hunching
Yeah,
down.
yeah. So
the presence.
if you're more confident in yourself
Mm-hmm.
and you're standing there, trying to talk to the person, trying to make friends with them if you can, what you have to do to get the bully to stop bullying you, And if all worst comes to worst, then you tell your friends, and then the bully is also less apt to bully you if there's more of you.
Yeah.
And always tell someone, a grown-up,
Yeah.
if you're being bullied. Always.
Are there going to be any robots with special needs too?
That's a good idea. I work with people with special needs.
Mm-hmm.
I work at Seven Hills Foundation, and I support people with all different types of special needs. And you might see someone with special needs in the book.
Yeah, because nationwide, the data out there, they're the most vulnerable. Or anybody who has low self-esteem too.
Oh yeah.
But people with disabilities, people on the autism scale, people with
Yeah.
physical, people with Down syndrome, people with developmental,
Mm.
all across the board, they're the ones who get picked on.
Yeah.
And it's good that the toys are starting to come out that depict characters like in wheelchairs or Down syndrome.
Yeah.
So I think you have a good idea and a good product. Now,
Thank
is this
you.
book already written?
It's in the process of being written.
Okay, it's in the process. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm also going to be running this as a program.
Mm-hmm.
And my first one is going to be at Millbury Library,
Okay.
February 20th at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
Okay. What's that
Yeah.
about?
It's going to be about the situational and situational awareness and anti-bullying.
With kids?
I mean, 11 o'clock, not 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Yes.
with kids?
Yeah, yeah.
In the children's room?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You should bring a picture of your character.
I should. Next time I'm on, I definitely will.
So Operation Safety in Motion, which we're talking about, this is basically a program for what age group that you're targeting?
This is targeted towards elementary kids.
Okay.
Elementary school kids.
Okay.
From 6 to 10, 11. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you want to do this either in a school, in a public place.
Yeah, public libraries, schools,
Okay.
anywhere that
Mhm.
anywhere that will allow me to run the program. That want to learn more about situational awareness and bullying, because both of them, I think, go hand in hand.
Right. And also parents too.
Oh yeah.
Parents sometimes just don't know what to say. It's a different time.
Yeah.
I know I'm old, from the old school, when I went to school in the 70s. You know, I went to a city school, and, you know, my family's from the Bronx, and, you know, when we got bullied, we took care of it on our own. We didn't have to worry about weapons, and it just didn't happen. But society has changed.
Yeah, now it's a new age.
Now it's the
Yeah.
new age. The new way is different, and it can be more threatening and more
Yeah.
harmful.
Yeah.
So,
And I actually put into the book too, I call it if all else fails, then if you're in a active shooter event,
active shooter. Okay.
yes, then they say to run, hide, and if all else fails, fight.
That's what they say at Quincy Community College.
Yeah,
Colleges.
yeah. And I put that into the book because, you know, that, I mean, a lot of people are skeptical about teaching kids that, but I think that it should be at least shown to them, you know, because you never know what's going to happen.
Well, I always had a concern, and I already talked to my son, like when the kids are all playing at school,
Yeah.
playground. I know in the school they have their own protocol, which I support, but if you expect them to get in line when there's a shooting, really. So I told my son, you run in the
they're gonna-
bushes.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
said, I'm sorry, you run. Get in line.
Right,
And he's a fast runner. I mean, I don't know what else I could tell my kid. Get in line, it's not going to help.
right.
But
I didn't know they told them to do that. They told them
They
to
have
get in
their own-
line.
I have their own protocol, whatever that is. And it's public information, any school
And
website.
I'm sure they want to keep all the kids together.
They want to keep all the
but
kids together.
Still, just
But when you have a shooter,
I'm thinking of
you got to, I mean, it's every person for themselves. So
Yeah.
You really need to run. But they say scattering. And again, I'm not saying it's 100% proof. But, you know, like scattering because then you can't shoot accurate. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you know how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't shoot accurate. I don't know. I asked him, what did they tell you to do? He said, I don't know. I said, well, you run.
run, hide, and if all else fails, fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think anybody. But, you know, schools have their own protocol.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never thrilled about the sitting duck where they're in the classroom and it's happening. I was never thrilled about that. I
Right.
understand they have to protect, and this is a nationwide protocol. But, you know, I would think that if something is happening, obviously the police would be there, and I think they should lock the doors and all that kind of stuff. But I think you should also get ready to fight.
Oh yeah. I mean, pick up whatever, even if it's that water bottle right there. Throw that in someone's face. You throw something in someone's face, their immediate reaction is to go like this. You know, when you go like that, that's when you can run, or you can hit them, or whatever you need to do.
Yes. So, I mean,
Distractions.
I mean, nationwide the protocol is locked down. I understand that. But, you know, somebody's trying to break, like in a college classroom. I mean, I teach in the college classroom. If it's happening, who am I to tell students to stay? They're adults. They can leave.
Right.
Or, I mean, we have access to a phone, and if they have to hide, I'm going to say pick up the desk and get ready to throw them.
Oh yeah.
I said, we're not sitting ducks. They're adults.
Right.
So,
Do whatever you gotta do to go home to your kids, or you know.
so it's interesting. But again, different times, different way of life, different way of
Right.
approaching it nationwide.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips that you want to share about kids, about how to protect themselves? Or you talk about spider sense. What is that?
Yes. The gut reaction.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
If how do kids relate to the gut reaction is Spider-Man, the spider sense. You know, so I talk about that. I talk about you know, if you think something's wrong, something probably is wrong, and that's when you should go to someone that can help you out. You know, a grown-up that you trust.
Okay.
It might not be. You know, I talk about a person that you can trust, but it's not always your parents. It's not always your teacher. It's not always the police. It's not always the fireman. It's whoever you think that you can trust. You know, because I made sure in the book I'm not writing about go to your parents, go to your
Right.
teachers, go to this person, go to that person. I say go to someone that you personally can trust. You know.
So instinct is like survival.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And
Survival instinct, definitely.
it's like a gut.
Mm.
You got a sense that something isn't right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Do most kids know that, or they have to learn that?
It's embedded into all of us. I mean,
We all
we're
have
more
it.
or less born with it. You know.
We just have to be aware of it.
Yeah. Yeah. We just got to be aware of
Mm-hmm.
teaching yourself to be aware of when that happens.
Okay.
Something's definitely off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and go get help.
Mm.
And I think the younger that you learn that,
Okay.
the better.
Okay. So, if you were to do this program like an after school, would it be a week to week program? Like they have like after school programs are like once a week, or is this is this basically an hourly program, or is this all for one program?
It can be either way.
It could be either way.
I mean,
Okay.
and like at the Millbury Library, I'm teaching it one time.
Okay.
But if somebody wanted me to teach it on a Wednesday or every week,
Mm-hmm.
I could find topics to talk about for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
And will you at some point down the line be using your book as a teaching tool
Yes.
about the robot?
Yep. And I want to have the book available. I'm not sure if it's going to be available on February,
Okay.
but I want to make sure that when I run the program in the future,
Mm-hmm.
that I have that and my other books available for people to purchase.
Because we all know that bullying results in post-traumatic stress.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think the thing with kids, they just don't know what that is.
Mm.
Well, that's something you'd be I mean, I know kids are kids, but will you be talking about some of the things that could happen after being bullied, like the physical parts that they may be feeling, or
Yeah,
Again,
like stressed out.
they may
and-
not even, they'll say, what is that?
Yeah,
So will you be talking a little bit about what to be aware of after it happens? Like maybe physical signals they may get, or nightmares?
yeah. I
Or
mean,
not wanna
I
go to
think that's a
school?
really good topic to talk about for sure.
Because they really
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
I think 10, 11, they start getting an idea.
yeah. Kids are really innocent and they really just don't know. You know, something bad does happen.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what just happened.
No, they don't know
You
what
know,
just
they
happened.
don't really understand. And then if they do understand the things that happen afterwards, it's really confusing. It's confusing us adults.
Well, yeah, it's interesting about the research on adult bullying.
Mm.
It's that and the research shows that, different literature research talks about adults who've been bullied.
Mm.
That it goes back to when they were bullied when they were younger.
Mm.
So, but back then, again, you're talking about people now in their 30s and 40s and 50s. 20-year-olds are still trying to figure out who they are.
Yeah, yeah.
You
yeah.
know, the trying 20s. But the research is showing that it brings up when they were adult bullied. It brings up when they were not necessarily adult bullied, but it triggers back to when they were kids.
Mm.
And I think that's an interesting phenomenon, a different
too.
way of just bringing that out. I mean, you can't do anything now as an adult to a child.
Right,
It's
right.
when you get bullied in the workplace bullying. Have you heard of that?
I have. Yeah.
They're trying to pass a
And-
law.
I think what that deals with is hierarchy.
Yes.
You know, people, bosses and people like that are in charge, they bully.
Yeah.
But people that want to feel like they're in charge also, they pick on the ones that are less confident in their work. You know.
Well, the research is showing that it's people who are just good. I mean, I'm not saying goody two shoes. I'm not saying that. I'm saying people who are ethical, people who are kind, people who are just nice people.
Yeah.
And these bullies feel threatened by them.
Mm.
And that's their own insecurity that they have to work out.
And then when they're threatened by them, that's when they bully them to try to get them out of there or whatever.
Well, they
you
say
know.
that, and do you agree with this, that kid bullies become adult bullies?
I do. Yeah. And then their kids more or less become bullies. Because
Yeah.
they follow the footsteps of the parent, more or less. I mean, they, like, my kid was being bullied in school, and the first thing that I thought of was, what was that kid's home life like?
Mm-hmm.
Is that kid being bullied at home, and is transitioning into bullying my kid?
Right.
You know, I didn't blame the kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what's the situation at home like?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I taught my kid ever since 5. My husband and I have spoken to him, and I either say tell an adult. Now that he's older, I say, well, fight back.
Yeah.
Because and I know it's different than girls, but for boys, you were a boy one time. It's that psychological edge that they don't want to show weak. I mean, if they've been bullied, they need to stand up for themselves to feel better, and when they don't, then they repress it later in life.
Yeah.
So for boys, and maybe you know this with boys and girls, they have a different dynamic for boys and girls being bullied. It's that psychic, right? For boys being boys and girls being girls.
Yeah,
How to handle things.
I really, more or less, it's a new age. I think that girls and boys are kind of on the same line now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you're bullied as a boy or a girl,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna, go through the same thing.
And also kids that are different cultures now. We're becoming a more diverse community, and I think they're becoming targets too.
Oh yeah.
Besides kids with special needs too,
Yeah.
or anybody who appears, and the cultures tell them they look. And this is the research is showing is what did you do to deserve it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they go in the workplace, So it's
That's
you're
the wrong way
definitely
to think.
you're definitely touching on a great idea to teach kids young how to think about it now, but also to carry with them when they go into adulthood.
Yes, definitely.
Because believe it or not, and this is weird, but somehow they get bullied again. Some, not all. Some may have learned,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it brings up those. So that'd be interesting that you have this program for young people, and then when they become adults, they say, "Hey, yeah, I remember this guy coming in." I mean, you'd be known as the guy.
No, yeah.
This guy coming in and talking about
Yep.
anti-bullying and how the different tips that he gave and all the information that he gave, and then he
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about his robot. Did
Yeah.
the robot have a name?
So far, we're calling the robot Robbie, because I
Robbie.
think Robbie can be a male or female. I want to come up with a name that's more universal.
Okay.
Because Robbie, even though Robin can be either one, it's more towards male,
Okay.
I think. So I want to come up with a more universal name.
Okay. Well, we have less than a minute ago, so why don't you tell people how to contact you, your website?
You can contact me on longlifeexperience.com or charliedorenzo1@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the information's obviously at the end of the show will be coming up.
Yeah.
And when is your program coming up at the Millbury Public Library?
February 20th at 11 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then your next book will be out when?
In the next couple months.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get it out before February 20th.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been the first episode of 2020 for Miller Chat. Thank you, Charles Smith, for coming on.
Thank you, and Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Yeah.